So we saw Rogue One. For those that don't know, and I'm sure that would be a fair few, maybe not. I don't know. Either way, Rogue One is a new Star Wars film, and no, it does not take place after Force Awakens. Rogue One falls in the middle of the lineup. If you were to go in order of the storyline, it's Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One, then New Hope, Empire, Return of the Jedi, and then Force Awakens. Now, I don't really want to spoil it, but no lie, there'd probably be a little bit of spoilers in here. So you're forewarned before I move forward. Okay, now, with that being said, let's get into it. Alright, so the cool thing about Rogue One is it is thematically different from any of the other Star Wars films. It does a wonderful job of very quickly building up this core group of characters that you do grow to enjoy, but at the same time you have this understanding of, you already kind of know how this is going to end. You're just about to watch how it does. um, so for anyone who has never seen the original three Star Wars, um, perhaps they go into Rogue One not realizing how dark this specific story is. It's dark, it's visceral, it's far more believable in how it plays out because it gives you a very realistic take on how rebellions really do play out. You do have the extremist side, which is Saul and them, and then you have the devoted group of the rebellion that's really ready to give their all, and then you have the ones who are kind of all talk but not enough action. And we definitely see that factionism in the film as it proceeds through, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. So you have Saul's group, which are the extremists, the fundamentalists. They're willing to do anything and risk anyone and everyone just to kind of be the steady thorn in the Empire's side. Not to say that they don't have an overall goal, but they seem very sporadic in their attacks. They're the ones who are willing to attack an entire marketplace to stop a convoy, even though, to be quite honest, the Empire doesn't even need that convoy anymore. They have more than enough of the crystals to power the Death Star's laser. And then you have the rebellion itself, which is split on its own as well. You have that group that is set in the mindset of, we want to have the Empire gone. They're not really willing to go all the way. And then you have the true rebellion, which, within that we do see the Rogue Squadron, who they're ready to risk everything. They understand that in order to achieve the final goal of getting rid of the Empire, you have to be willing to go absolutely all the way and understand that you might not live to see that. You might not live to see that end. And understanding that the rebellion is not this plucky image that Luke Skywalker has when we meet him in New Hope, where he just has this fantasy world of, we're the good guys, they're the bad guys, we're gonna fight the bad guys because we're the good guys. Not realizing how dirty and gritty it gets with the rebellion. And Cassian gives us that, where he has this whole dialogue, where he points out, all of the horrible things that they've done in the name of the rebellion, including murder, theft. They've lied, they've cheated, they've double crossed, all for the sake of the rebellion. And I appreciated that realistic statement of how rebellions really do play out. They're not just so simple, cut and dry of, well, we're just going to protest and be diplomatically vocal in this, because for real, that's kind of what the council is. They were hoping, we've done enough to get attention, and now we'll go before the Federation Senate and finally get some action going on against the Empire, which we all know doesn't happen. Like, Coruscant is not about to turn around. The Senate is not about to get rid of the Empire. I mean, it was birthed in the Senate. Um, so it was great the way it played out, and my brothers and I were definitely talking about it in the comparison to Halo Reach. You know what happens with the story. You know what happens at the end of Reach, so you know what's going to happen at the end of Rogue Squadron. You're just not necessarily ready to watch it happen. And even though you go into it knowing you are, watching how everything plays out and it's just so in your face and it's just after the other, it's just there is no stopping it, and you realize how against the clock. And the most brilliant part of the whole film is literally where Rogue One ends is exactly where New Hope starts, and it's spectacular. And the only thing I could think of, well, you don't necessarily get a sense of time of how long between the mission to Scarif and the crash on Tatooine we have with Princess Leia's escape ship. We don't know how long that was. So one could assume where Tatooine is on the outer rim, where Scarif is within the central system to the main area of the Empire, you have to consider it probably took a couple days for Leia's ship to get to Tatooine. So if you ever watch Battlestar Galactica and you know how the pilot episodes went, you have to consider maybe they were jumping like something like every 33 minutes or so. So it was back to back to back to back to back, and they were being chased by the Star Destroyer, and then bam, New Hope happens, and it was like, whoa. It was awesome. So, yeah, kind of gave away some stuff. Hope you're not too offended. But at this point, if you haven't seen Rogue One, you have to be realistic. You know people are going to be talking about it, giving reviews. So there it is. Rogue One, Star Wars story. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. Clever. Absolute great nods. We got Grand Moff Tarkin in there. We had Princess Leia in there. Had my man Vader in there. It was so serious. It was so great. It was wonderful. Go see it. Enjoy it. Merry Christmas and all that good stuff.